Hello and welcome to this fourth review that I have uploaded that hopefully this will be the last time that I have to fucking forget about this. But this is yet again another spoiler warning. If you have not seen this film, then click off. But this is my spoiler warning.
Gus March Phillips, I have a mission. I want you to lead. Neutralize the German U-boats in the North Atlantic.
We're losing the war.
Hitler is not playing by the rules, then neither are we.
If I'm to do this, I'll need my own team.
Let's go!
No! Mad.
They'll need to be.
This is an unsanctioned, unauthorized mission. If we fail, England will be condemned to a lifetime under the German boot.
And so I said, that is not a dog, that is my wife!
It's very good.
Are reckless. Abort this mission now.
Hello, can't hear you. Please do off.
What's up, people? Today I'll be doing a movie review on Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Damn, it's still a mouthful to fucking say. As usual, I'll be giving you the breakdown. Initial thoughts, positives, and negatives. For the positives, it's going to be the fighting/comedy bits, detailing the an overview map, and the different signs. For the negatives, it'll be the inconsistent/missed opportunities when it comes to the fun sequences, lack of tension and struggle, and character depth in terms of sequences. And I'll end it with my ending thoughts. Now, as much as I enjoy a really well put together movie for whatever reasons that may be for me to draw to that kind of conclusion, I also like just more fun movies where I can lay back, purely enjoy without being as serious/critical. And just to give off some examples, The Beekeeper is definitely an example. So hearing about the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, just the long title and fun sequences and comedic bits from the trailer definitely made me interested for it. And I still stand by that. I just think that it felt inconsistent and having missed opportunities. And just in general, not necessarily living up to what I at least envisioned in my mind. First, I'll be talking about fighting/comedic bits. When the scenes of fighting along with the comedic bits are on screen, it was great to watch. Such ways of killing them being when pretending to be a Nazi leader and then executing them, from using a bow and arrow to an axe, interrupting Nazis laughing by obnoxiously laughing louder to such a great joke, and then shooting using a big old double machine gun to mow down Nazis in a building, chucking a grenade inside one of the bunkers as one of them freaks out, having a jolly old laugh as everything in the background is just exploding, just walking off like nothing ever happened. There are pretty decent moments of killing. And another factor that made, I would say, normal scenes better, or during the fights, were the comedic bits. It definitely helped on the kind of direction/form this film went for. Such comedy bits being at the beginning when in mocking/laughing when being detained by sailors. Gus wanted to have these long coats, taking a few cigars with him to have during a meeting. Moments of Alan's just witty dialogue.
I'm not leaving until I have a barrel full of Nazi hearts.
I'll give you 100 francs to shoot him.
Guilty as charged.
He hates Germans. You should really shoot him. Make him walk the plank. He loves wood.
waving at his teammates after going on an axe rampage, Gus pretending to have issues with the radio, and sticking his tongue out as he's done killing just to show just how unhinged he is. Or even as well, Alan getting one of the dead sailors and waving at the other boats as well. There was a mixture of more actual laughter / simple chuckles I got with these different sort of comedic bits. And a lot of them landed, at least to me. Both of these elements, when put together, definitely made a lot of the scenes just pure fun for these actors to be crazy / deranged in a non-serious manner. And one little note that I have to give, because I got to give credit, is obviously with the scenes that were done, using practical effects, and as well, like, just to give an example, them actually being out at sea in a boat too. So it's nice to appreciate. The next will be the detailing, and particularly the overview map. So this sure is a real simple point, but it was just nice to see, like, as the team was planning out on different segments and an overview of the map that kind of animates their plan, like, as they speak. That was a nice touch. Next, I'll talk about different sides. As the team got assembled and being set out to do their mission, I did like in having the back and forth sequences of the team members. One side being Gus, Freddie, Anders, Henry, and Jeffrey, being the ones in sailing out to their ultimate destination, planning out their journey, getting stopped by a British boat along the journey, and also receiving information, and also stopping by one of those Nazi camps. The other side being Marjorie and Mr. Heroin in collecting information such as documents, planning out a party as a form of distraction, talking to one of the Nazi leaders, and placing bombs and taking out the lights as the parties are going on, as part of the distraction. It's nice seeing both sides just doing their own part in fighting off / gathering info that led to them completing the mission in, taking the boats. Now I'll move on to the negatives, starting off with inconsistency / missed opportunities in terms of fun sequences. Now, while there is fun to be had, a lot of them really just felt one-sided when it comes just to the side of Gus, Anders, Henry, Freddie, and Jeff. And the side with Marjorie and Heroin, that's when the inconsistency starts to play out. The only two more fun scenarios that happen, at least on that side, that could be when they use the fake briefcase in order to get the briefcase that had the documents, and then as well when Heroin's pistol gets jammed and he couldn't get it working and eventually just stabbed one of the soldiers. And that was generally about it. I understand that they've used this side in order to showcase the villain and scenes that will lead to future events. The fun aspect was just not as consistent and was spread across a bit too separate. I think one thing that could have helped with this is the dialogue, in being just more snappy and witty for certain scenes. Another thing was that for certain moments, they were such missed opportunities. One example I could say is when discussion between Gus and all the other members of having to change plans and having to travel closer to the line of ships. It's been a great opportunity in having or possible comedic bits from the characters. They could be making fun of the ships, maybe just imitating Nazi sailors or whatever, just being goofy within that time. And at some point, once they get past that, then you could have made a scene where they then get spotted by the British destroyer and then be like, oh, well, shit, So the second example is more general that I have mentioned for my point of inconsistency. It's just to have more snappy, witty, and even sarcastic kind of dialogue in general for any sort of talking scene, and making them more enjoyable. And a third example would be just more scenes with Churchill. I just think they could have made him more of an important kind of character in let's say getting the recruitments, or even just dialogue that just felt more, punchy, especially with the current situation of the war, or even when he got caught. The next will be lack of tension / struggle. This was definitely another factor that hindered down the film for me at times, and could have been implemented better in the sense of tension, especially with the villain. There was no rising tension at all when the villain was on screen, not until when he realized that Marjorie was a Jew through her words and planned on doing bad things to her. But even I felt nothing. There needed to be some scenes in showcasing his evilness, or even just a better introduction in at least wondering on the bloodstains he had on his hands, in representing a better vision of the villain could have definitely helped out in other scenarios throughout the rest of the film in having him more involved. And it's also why, like, also just other scenes as well, like one scene in particular, like after Marjorie was done talking with the villain, they then get this scene of like this lady hanging, her bleeding and stuff. Like, that's why even that scene even felt like random. It's like, all right, that just took a turn, but again, I didn't feel anything. So yeah, that also didn't help. In terms of struggle, it has to be with the team members. Rarely any of them, besides the one with Anders in the boat and towards the end with Henry. Little bits of struggle / close calls throughout the different sequences would have made them relatively more believable, and again, could have been used for some comedic bits as well. Lastly, I'll talk about character depth and how it could have helped with other sequences. So even with the little descriptions of the characters at the beginning being explained, which wasn't bad, but it would have been intriguing to have moments of the characters sort of talking to each other about like different past stories, whether they may be historically true or made up. It would have made us have more care / interest for these characters and having great visual representations on those past stories being said. So in the end, even with certain elements that hindered the film down for me and how some of these elements could have been implemented a lot better, I still had good enjoyable moments throughout. Whether it's the fun action sequences of taking out Nazi soldiers by those unhinged soldiers, or the inconsistency of the fun factors and lacking tension with the villain, the fun sequences definitely helped with some of the flaws, at least to me. As for the rating of this film, I'll be giving The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare a 7 out of 10. And anyways, later.